When I was a kid, one of my favorite meals of the week was when my mother would slow simmer pinto beans with smoked pork hock and serve it with cornbread and pickled jalapenos. Now, that may not be in your tradition, but chances are there's one of those slow-cooked meals that you just absolutely love. In the Yucatan Peninsula, it would be these black beans that are simmered with pork and some tomatoes and a little bit of chili habanero. I've found that the best way and the simplest way to recreate that kind of dish is to use a slow cooker. And my slow cooker has a removable insert that I can set directly over the heat and add a little bit of oil. Oh, no, I don't need to use oil. I've got some rendered bacon fat here. And since I'm going to be making this dish with pork, I thought this would be a good use of it. Okay, so just enough to coat the bottom of the pan here. And what I have here is pork shoulder roast cut into about 1-inch pieces, pretty good sized pieces. When this is hot enough, I'm going to add all of that pork in a single layer so that it can brown evenly. Sprinkle the meat with a little salt and then turn the pieces until they're nice and golden brown. That's looking really good, so I'm going to add the water to the slow cooker base. I'll need about 6 cups. And next in will go the beans. I've got black beans here, which is the standard bean for this preparation in the Yucatan Peninsula. An onion cut into about 1/2-inch pieces. Scoop all of that into the slow cooker base there. And then the last little bit is one of the ingredients that is so typical in the Yucatan, it may not be accessible to you. So if you can't find epazote, which is available in most Mexican grocery stores, my suggestion is that you just simply leave it out. We're gonna put some cilantro on this dish when it's finished, and that will give you that beautiful herby element. Just nestle that epazote in, and then we're gonna go over to the slow cooker base, set this down in there, put the top on, and set it on low, and this will cook for about 6 hours until those beans are completely tender. The beans are done now, and I need to first heat some fat in a pan, and since we're going down this road of rendered bacon fat, I'm going to put a little bit into a skillet here and turn it on. Chop up an onion. Add the chopped onion to the hot pan, and then I'm going to make a puree out of the tomatoes. They're going to go into the food processor. Continue to pulse the food processor until you have a coarse puree. When the onions are browned and softened, add the tomato puree to the skillet. Now, since this is Yucatan flavored food, we're going to use habanero chili in it. You could really make this with any kind of fresh chili, but to give it that really classic flavor of the Yucatan Peninsula, we're going to use habanero. Chop it up if you like really spicy food. If you want moderately spicy food, just cut the chili in half, nestle it down in here, and stir it. Let this cook until it's the consistency of a thick sauce. Time now for seasoning. And now seasoning the beans. Okay. Stir that in. I'm just seasoning the broth, and I want it to be a tiny bit salty because that's the salt that will go into the beans. Now, this is the first time that we're going to be using the sauce, and I'm going to put about half of it into the bean mixture. The rest will go on top as a garnish. Stir that in. Put the top back on it and let this simmer for a little while for all of those flavors to mingle, and then we're ready to serve. It's smelling really, really good. Ladle into this serving dish here. Next goes a spoonful of our roasted tomato habanero salsa, a little bit of avocado, some sliced radishes. I'm lucky enough to have these little breakfast radishes from our garden. And then just a little shower of cilantro. Now, that is a satisfying dish.